Before getting married, I discovered my girlfriend was involved with my best friend. To get revenge, I immediately got together with her best friend, and got her pregnant with my child. Later, my girlfriend was dumped by the person she cheated with. My name is Leo, and my girlfriend Sophia and I met through online gaming. Sophia was gentle and beautiful, and we instantly felt a connection when we first met. Before I met my girlfriend, I had always followed my parents' expectations, doing everything step by step. I had never done anything to defy them, living entirely in their world, without a life of my own. Until I met Sophia. She was different from me. She was free-spirited, lived in the moment, and believed in fate. We bonded over an online game. At first, we just became friends through a gaming party. Because she was good at gaming, I often teamed up with her to level up and defeat monsters. Later, during our chats, we discovered we both lived in the same city, so we arranged to meet in person. I had imagined her countless times, maybe a shy, introverted gamer girl, or a spoiled rich girl with nothing to do. But meeting her shattered all my preconceptions. She was the purest girl I had ever met. When we first met, she wasn't as talkative as she seemed online. She was very shy and reserved. She immediately introduced herself, saying her name was Sophia. She made money by taking photos for others and loved photography. Her college majors were computer applications and photography. I joked that she was too formal, like she was on a blind date, and she blushed furiously. That's right, this silly girl captivated my nerdy heart. Our relationship progressed quickly. After we both confirmed we wanted to take things further, we announced our relationship on social media. After dating for a month, we found we were compatible in many ways. We had similar hobbies. She loved photography, and I enjoyed taking pictures. We shared similar views on relationships, so we gradually integrated into each other's lives. We were still in our sophomore year of college then. I had a roommate who was also a very close friend from college. His name was Ethan. Before I started dating, we hung out together every day. I had no secrets from him. A month after Sophia and I got together, I introduced them. When they met, they were like oil and water. Ethan didn't think highly of Sophia. He thought she was a wolf in sheep's clothing, clearly a schemer. Ethan often warned me not to trust women too much. I just assumed he had my best interests at heart. My girlfriend Sophia's attitude towards Ethan was indifferent, neither warm nor cold. I tried to find ways to help them get along. To change Ethan's opinion of Sophia, I would invite him along on our dates. I didn't want a small disagreement to strain my friendship, so when Sophia and I traveled, I'd invite Ethan along. And Sophia would invite her best friend, Sarah. During our trips, maybe Ethan saw how Sophia and I interacted. He stopped being prejudiced against Sophia. Sometimes he would even initiate conversations with her. Gradually, their relationship improved. During our time together, besides the sweet and happy moments, we occasionally had arguments. I remember once, Sophia actually forgot my birthday. I was very disappointed then. I remembered every word Sophia had told me, every promise. She had said she would celebrate my birthday differently every year. For the 2 years we had been together, she had always given me different surprises. I had been eagerly looking forward to that day. I even went home after work to change and do my hair. After graduating from college, we were both busy with our jobs. We rarely had the chance to go on dates, shop, or watch movies as often as we did in college. Yet on my birthday, she made plans with her best friend to go shopping and get manicures, as if she had forgotten what day it was. She didn't even spare me a glance. I called Ethan. He made a special effort to buy me a birthday cake after work to celebrate with me. We drank a lot that night. At the time, I felt lucky. It was a good thing Ethan was there, or I would have been even more upset. The next day, Sophia, I don't know how she remembered, gave me the biggest surprise. She unexpectedly asked if I would marry her. I excitedly said yes. Sophia was my first love, and I loved her very much. I was also very happy to be able to enter into marriage with her. Later, I found out Ethan had called and given her an earful. That's why she remembered it was my birthday, and used it to cheer me up. Throughout my years with Sophia, Ethan had done things like this often. He knew I loved Sophia very much, so after arguments, he always found ways to help us reconcile. Ethan was like a mediator in our lives, constantly maintaining the relationship between my girlfriend and me. After graduating from college, due to my looks and height, by chance, I became a print model, while Sophia opened a photography studio. It was also thanks to her photography skills that my photos went viral online, which gave me the opportunity to enter the modeling industry. After I gained some recognition, her studio also became very popular because of my endorsements. Slowly, both our careers took off, and marriage became a topic of discussion. We discussed a date, then arranged a meeting with both sets of parents. Both parents were very pleased. My family was ordinary, my parents were farmers. Sophia, however, was different. She was from the city, her parents were business owners, so their family's financial situation was naturally very good. Her parents always prioritized Sophia's happiness, believing that as long as she was happy, that's all that mattered. After the family dinner, both sets of parents set the wedding date. Sophia and I used the savings we'd accumulated over the past 2 years to buy an apartment, securing our marital home without financial help from our parents. But before I could enjoy the happiness for more than a few days, I was on my way to check on the renovations in our new apartment, when I accidentally stumbled upon Sophia and Ethan's affair. On the large bed, they were embracing each other. Their lips were about to meet, on the verge of taking things further, when I suddenly interrupted them. Both pairs of eyes stared directly at me. Seeing this scene, my heart stopped for a moment, and my world instantly went dark. Sophia saw me standing outside the door, quickly separated from Ethan. A flicker of panic crossed her face. She hastily explained, "Why are you here so suddenly? Why didn't you tell me you were coming?" I was furious. I yelled at her, "If I hadn't come, how would I have seen you two fooling around? You've been keeping me in the dark all this time." Ethan looked at me triumphantly. "Sophia, why bother talking to him anymore? Since Leo found out, there's no need to hide it from you. The truth is just as you see it. Sophia and I have been together for a long time." "Shut up." Sophia seemed to want to argue further, and snapped at Ethan. Then she turned to me, and said, "Leo, don't overthink this. Things aren't what you imagine. We were just testing how sturdy the bed was. Besides, nothing actually happened, did it?" What an absurd excuse. No one would believe that, not even a child. She was treating me like an idiot. Nothing happened. This is what you call nothing happened. Did I have to catch you in the act, already in bed, for it to count as something happening? Am I a joke to you too? Ethan, I considered you my best friend, and you just stabbed me in the back like this." Seeing that I couldn't calm down, Sophia quickly pulled me aside. "I just made a mistake any woman could make. But it was just this one time, believe me. I promise I'll never do it again, and we're getting married soon." Before she could finish, I violently shook her hand away. "A mistake any woman could make," she said. She was still defending herself. I turned and left the apartment. This happened the day before the wedding. I felt like I had hit rock bottom. Although I couldn't accept it, I still had to face reality. After I got home, Sophia kept calling me, but I never answered. I never in my wildest dreams imagined that my fiancé and my best friend would do something like this. Thinking back on their behavior, it seemed they had been involved for a long time. I hadn't noticed a thing. They must have been treating me like a fool. If Ethan liked her, why did he try to set Sophia and me up? There were countless times Sophia and I almost broke up, and it was always him encouraging me to reconcile with Sophia. Even the marriage proposal had Ethan's fingerprints all over it. That same night, I received a strange text message, "If you're unhappy with her, why not be with me?" I just assumed it was a wrong number and ignored it. Early the next morning, she showed up at my door with her parents. I was surprised and instantly realized she had brought in her reinforcements. The moment she stepped inside, Sophia tried to take my hand, but I pulled away. If her parents hadn't been there, I would have exploded and thrown her out. Seeing that I completely ignored her, she stepped forward and forcibly grabbed my arm. "Leo, please don't be angry, okay? I know I made a mistake, and I promise it won't happen again. Can you give me a chance to make it up to you?" I sharply pulled my hand away and said bluntly, "I don't think this marriage is going to happen. It seems you like Ethan a lot, so why don't you marry him instead?" The moment Sophia heard me say that, she panicked. The next second, she burst into tears, her face streaked with them. "You're the only one I truly love, I can't live without you." Seeing her like that, I actually felt a pang of softness in my heart. Her parents were also trying to smooth things over. It seemed Sophia hadn't told them the whole truth. They probably thought it was just some mild flirtation with Ethan. Then, turning to me, they said, "Leo, we've already scolded her. She keeps saying she loves you very much, and is determined to marry you. Sophia is still young, and she made a mistake because someone incited her. Luckily you found out in time, and she knows she was wrong. Can you give her another chance?" I didn't dare tell her parents directly that Sophia nearly cheated, fearing they wouldn't be able to handle it. Sophia, in front of me, said sincerely, word by word, "Leo, if you'll just forgive me, I promise I'll never do anything foolish again." Looking into Sophia's tear-reddened eyes, I wavered. Ever since I started dating Sophia, she always found ways to make my parents happy. I doubted I could ever make my parents as happy as she did. What's more, before I found out about this, her kindness to me was genuine, and I truly did like her very much. As long as she could change, and never contact Ethan again. I decided to give Sophia another chance, and myself one too. I wasn't willing to give her up easily after loving her for so long. A week passed. Sophia indeed didn't give me any more reasons to doubt her. The wedding date was set, and invitations were sent out. One day, I was arranging the wedding decorations, when I suddenly received a text message. It was from Ethan. I was furious. How dare he still contact me? He sent me a screenshot along with a message below it. How dare someone from the sticks like you have such a good life? I truly despise you. In college, if it weren't for my help, would anyone have even noticed you? Why should you have it better than me? Sophia loves me. I advise you to be smart, and stop bothering her. I opened the screenshot. It contained Sophia and Ethan's chat history. The chat log roughly stated that Sophia said marrying me was a last resort, that I had been constantly bothering her, and that she had always loved Ethan. She also said marrying me was just to save her parents' reputation. Ethan, still not giving up, asked Sophia if she could avoid marrying me. Seeing this screenshot, I nearly lost it completely. What angered me wasn't just Ethan's provocation, but more importantly, Sophia's deception of both of us, promising me she would never contact Ethan again, while simultaneously tricking Ethan into believing she loved him. I didn't understand why Sophia, after explicitly promising me she wouldn't contact Ethan again, would turn around and twist facts, blaming me. We were clearly about to get married. Why couldn't she be faithful? At that moment, fury completely overshadowed my reason. I immediately drove to Sophia's house. When I arrived at her place, she was still coordinating with the wedding videographer. Seeing me, she was even about to brag to me that she had booked an award-winning photographer. I immediately pushed her to the ground. She looked at me in shock. I didn't want to waste any words on her. I simply shoved the phone with the screenshot in front of her face. Her face visibly darkened, turning pale, and then red. I yelled at her, "Speak up. I want to see what other lies you can come up with." Sophia resorted to her old tricks again, crying as she spoke. I was wrong. I truly was wrong. I must have lost my mind. I was just thinking of one last fling before marriage, and Ethan just threw himself at me. I swear I'll never do it again. Please forgive me one more time. This time, I was utterly disappointed in the woman before me. I could never forgive her again. I took a few steps back. She still tried to soften my heart. I really won't do it again. Please forgive me. This is truly the last time. Enough. Don't say anything more. I couldn't listen to her anymore. She had personally destroyed my trust. How could I possibly continue with her? Let's break up. I'll handle this mess of a wedding. But I paid $30,000 for our marital home, and I want every penny back. After saying that, I just walked away. No matter how much she cried and screamed behind me, I remained unmoved. I returned home with heavy steps. The moment I stepped inside, I saw my parents preparing food for my wedding. After a moment of hesitation, I spoke with difficulty. I'm not going to marry Sophia. My parents thought I was joking and laughed, asking if I had got cold feet before the wedding. My heart clenched and my face slowly fell. Seeing their aged faces, marked with joy for my impending marriage, a mix of emotions overwhelmed me, making it hard to breathe. My hands trembled uncontrollably as I showed them the chat screenshot. They fell silent for a moment, then quickly smiled at me again. It's okay. So what if you don't get married? You still have your parents. Hearing them say that, I was deeply touched, but also felt a bitter taste in my mouth. That night, Sophia also called me many times, but I immediately blocked her number. That night, I got drunk again. Of course, I was sad about the 2-year relationship. I had loved this woman for so many years, yet I had never truly seen her. I gave a bitter laugh. From the very beginning of our relationship, I had misjudged this woman. She was too good at pretending, and I had believed her sweet talk. But disguises are eventually seen through. Reality didn't even give me a chance to react before slapping me awake. The next day, I planned to go to her house to sort things out between us, but unexpectedly ran into her best friend, Sarah. The moment Sarah saw me, a flicker of surprise flashed in her eyes. Though it was fleeting, I caught it. An idea struck me, and a plan formed in my mind. I decided not to call off the engagement with Sophia after all. I wanted her to taste betrayal too. She wanted to save face, didn't she? I wouldn't let her have her way. After I told Sophia I forgave her, she cried tears of joy, and in front of me, she blocked and deleted all of Ethan's contact information. After that, I frequently visited their company. Before going into Sophia's office, I always made sure to say hello to Sarah. Over time, Sarah's feelings for me deepened, and I, while avoiding Sophia, made subtle, ambiguous gestures towards Sarah. During our time together, I discovered that the strange text message I received earlier was actually from Sarah. I was incredulous. She had apparently liked me since college but kept it hidden because I was her best friend's boyfriend. She seemed to guess what I was planning, and she didn't expose me. After I had mostly adjusted to the situation, I used work as an excuse to reject Sophia's request to move in together and moved back home. At the same time, my relationship with Sarah progressed further, reaching the final step. When Sophia went on a business trip, I brought a bottle of wine to the office to see Sarah. Under the influence of alcohol, Sarah and I began to get intimate right there in the office. The office, which should have only had the two of us, suddenly had a strange noise. Sarah and I pulled apart and looked at Sophia's assistant. I didn't show much panic. Sarah glanced at me, then turned to Sophia's assistant and said, "Chloe, come with me for a moment." After a while, Sarah returned and told me that everything had been handled. Sarah was pregnant, discovered one day when she found a pregnancy test stick by the sink. Seeing how happy she was, I smiled happily too. Our wedding preparations also sped up. On the day of the wedding, I stood on the balcony, and my thoughts drifted back to that summer, September the 1st, 2018, the day new students arrived at Westwood University. Because of my excellent grades, I was chosen as a school representative and assigned by teachers to the dean's office to help with student registration. Throughout the process, one person left a deep impression on me, and later, I would have an inseparable connection with him. Ethan, a generous and confident young man with big dreams. In my mind, he was destined to become a world-renowned game designer. He possessed something I greatly admired: his self-confidence and his clear plans for himself. His dedicated attitude towards achieving his goals, I greatly admired. The confidence he exuded was something I lacked. I was from a rural background, with excellent grades and good looks. I often received praise from teachers and recognition from the school, which inevitably led to jealousy from other students. I thought things would be different in college, but to my surprise, I was still targeted by others. Especially because of my background, people often made jokes about it, and Ethan was the only one who spoke up for me. That was the first time I had accepted someone's kindness, and it was the catalyst for our friendship. The bond I thought was unbreakable was now destroyed by that very person. My mind was racing with thoughts, yet I still instructed the makeup artist to adjust my attire. I mechanically walked step by step down the aisle, following the wedding procession, looking at the woman on stage and the family and friends seated below. I also caught Sarah's knowing look aimed at me. Without a moment's hesitation, I decided to go through with my revenge plan. I watched the backstage area, where a video documenting our love story was playing. Sophia was also looking at the screen, a smile plastered across her face. The lights had dimmed, and everyone's attention in the audience was focused on the screen. The video showed all her chat logs with Ethan, along with their private photos. And I have Ethan to thank for sending them to me without holding anything back, otherwise, I wouldn't have had the chance to show them. People in the audience began to whisper. Some even gasped in shock. Seeing Mr. and Mrs. Miller's livid expressions, I felt a deep satisfaction inside. When Sophia saw the video, she completely panicked, hurriedly running backstage to tell someone to turn it off. But it was too late. I looked at the bewildered officiant, snatched the microphone from his hand, and said indifferently, "Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for taking up your time, and for making you witness this disgraceful material. This video was prepared by me. When I was planning to marry Sophia, I accidentally discovered my fiancé and my best friend in bed together. They did these things behind my back, and then still dared to ask for my forgiveness. I did give Sophia a chance, but all I got in return was more deception. I just wanted everyone to see how disgusting this person truly is. Leo, don't go too far." Before I could finish speaking, Sophia, her face dark with rage, rushed onto the stage, snatched the microphone from my hand, and shoved me. Perhaps knowing their family was in the wrong, or perhaps feeling humiliated, none of their relatives and friends spoke up, including Mr. and Mrs. Miller. "I must have been blind to think you were a good daughter-in-law, only to shame my son like this. This marriage isn't worth having. My parents pulled me and my mother away. You've brought shame upon our family." Faintly, I heard Mr. Miller's scolding voice from behind. The wedding ultimately ended acrimoniously. Troubled, I went for a walk in the park. Unexpectedly, I ran into that despicable pair again. They were holding hands intimately, strolling through the park like a married couple. It was utterly disgusting. Seeing this scene, I felt utterly disgusted. I had thought since we broke up, it was best to avoid further trouble. But Ethan, for some reason, suddenly spotted me. He called out my name, and walked over, pulling Sophia along, as if to assert his claim. He held his head high, and said mockingly, "Leo, What good do you think this will do you? You don't think you can ruin Sophia's reputation like this, do you? Now you've just made yourself a laughingstock. After all, Sophia is a nobody, no one cares about her. But you're not, are you? You're a famous model. Who's going to want you now? I was utterly amazed by Ethan's ability to twist facts. I'll return the sentiment. I kindly introduced Sophia to Ethan. He then directly hooked up with my girlfriend, knowing he was the other man. They were both utterly disgusting, one more so than the other. Since he thought cheating was a perfectly normal thing to do, then I wished him well. Sophia, in front of Ethan, still maintained her ridiculous facade. This marriage isn't happening anymore, so I didn't want to hear her nonsense anymore. I directly cut her off. I don't want to say anything more. When are you going to repay my 30,000? When we were discussing marriage, because neither of us wanted to use our parents' money, I put in 30,000, and she put in 20,000, which was enough for a down payment on a property in the city center. But now that we weren't getting married and had broken up, that 30,000 should rightfully be returned to me. The moment Sophia heard me mention money, her attitude immediately changed, becoming surprisingly pleasant. The house has already been bought, and I really can't get the money out. We can't exactly return the house, can we? I couldn't believe she had the nerve. How quickly she changed. For Sophia, perhaps she had never truly loved anyone. She only loved herself, and pursued whoever offered the most advantage. Ethan was just a source of excitement for her. She didn't care about Ethan's feelings at all. But I didn't care about any of that. I asked, so, you're saying you won't return the money? Is that it? Sophia hesitated, saying, it's not that I don't want to return it, it's just that I really can't. Please try to understand me. After all, we went through all the wedding preparations. So there's no need to be so clear about this money now. I rolled my eyes in exasperation. After all this back and forth, I finally understood. She wasn't going to return the money. Even our original wedding plans were probably just because she was after the 30,000 for the house that my family was willing to pay. But I was still curious. Her family's financial situation shouldn't be so bad that they couldn't come up with 30,000. I didn't say anything more to her. I just hailed a cab and went straight to the county recorder's office to check on the apartment. What I found surprised me. After my family paid the money, we didn't concern ourselves with the apartment anymore. Sophia's family had taken full responsibility for everything. My name wasn't even on the deed for the apartment. My hands involuntarily clenched into fists. She had truly played me for a fool. It was like I had effectively gave her 30,000 for free. Luckily, before the wedding, the destination and purpose of the money were clearly documented. It wouldn't be difficult to get the money back through legal channels. I immediately filed a lawsuit. There were still several days before the court review. I drove straight to our marital home. Since she refused to return the money, she shouldn't blame me for being impolite. I saw the wedding decorations still prominently displayed in the apartment. Without a word, I picked up a sledgehammer and smashed them to pieces. And for the cabinets, I smeared paint all over them. Looking at the utter chaos on the floor, it mirrored our broken relationship. But don't blame me for this. Since she had schemed against me for this apartment, then she shouldn't blame me for being ruthless. After doing all that, I left, feeling satisfied. That same evening, I received a call from an unknown number. Sophia was cursing me out on the phone, calling me a scumbag, saying she should never have gotten involved with me. Listening to her furious tone, I said nothing, just quietly hung up and blocked his number. In the following days, my 30,000 was recovered. It was rightfully Sophia's family who had to repay it. I heard her parents found out and scolded her for her despicable and ungrateful actions. Later, I also learned why Sophia still wanted to marry me, even after we had a big confrontation. It was because her parents had gone bankrupt. Not marrying me would mean all the money they had spent would be wasted, and they would still have to repay my 30,000. I guess Sophia had been hiding it from me, probably wanting to marry me to help her family pay off their debts. Her parents were blameless, just pitiful. They were dragged down by Sophia, and their whole family would be worried about this debt. I never expected Ethan stepped in to settle it in the end. He was truly blinded by love. Still deluded, he was willing to borrow money from all sorts of relatives and friends for his love to pay off her debts. I also heard they were going to get married, but they hastily divorced the day before the wedding. This was because on the day before the wedding, Ethan discovered that Sophia had 2 sugar daddies. What goes around comes around. This story reminds us that before getting married, you must keep your eyes open. After I cut ties with Sophia, this scandal of mine was leaked to the public by someone with an agenda. I didn't even need to think to know Ethan was behind it. Perhaps he thought this was his revenge against me. But what he didn't know was, the reason I was willing to enter the modeling industry was actually for Sophia's career development. Once I gained fame, it would create opportunities for her to access a larger photography network. Now that I had seen Sophia's true colors, after all these events, I understood that I didn't need to please others in everything I did. I should prioritize myself. So Ethan's retaliation, I couldn't care less about. Just a few days after that, an unexpected person showed up at my door. It was Sarah. She bought a lot of supplements and fruits to visit my parents. The moment she entered, she confessed to my parents. "Sarah, let's talk outside." I quickly spoke up to stop her. I really didn't want my parents to worry about my affairs anymore. "No, I have to say everything today." Sarah let go of my hand. Before I could say anything else, my parents, with furrowed brows, stopped me. "Dad, Mom, the baby I'm carrying is Leo's." One time, we were drunk at a bar and things just happened. I didn't want to disturb Leo's life, but when I heard he was deceived by that manipulative Sophia, it really distressed me. My parents hadn't yet recovered from the shock when Sarah directly stated, "Dad, Mom, I'm serious. I don't want my child to be born without a father." Seeing my parents speechless, I figured they were pretty shaken up. "Leo, is what she's saying true?" My father took a deep breath and asked. "Why, yes, it's true." I mumbled. "You weren't going to tell us about something this big." "I just hadn't figured out how to tell you," I mumbled. "In that case, go get married tomorrow." My father said that and went into his room. Why? I was too surprised to speak. I thought I was going to get a good scolding. I took a long look at the woman in front of me. It seemed she was considering my feelings, as she didn't mention I was the one who pursued her. After that day, Sarah and I quickly got married, legally. We didn't have a wedding ceremony, but instead went on a honeymoon trip. She felt very different from Sophia. She was mature and thoughtful. I didn't dwell on whether we got married because of the baby or out of love. Compatibility might be more important than love.